But earlier, French President Macron took a swipe at President Trump. Listen.
Patriotism is the exact opposite of nationalism. Nationalism is a betrayal of patriotism by saying, aren't us first? Who cares about the others? We erase what a nation holds dearest, what gives it life, what makes it great, and what is essential, its moral values.
Here to react now, Fox News national security strategist and former deputy assistant to President Trump, Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Good morning.
Good morning, Katie.
How did you feel about Mr. President Macron's comments?
First things first, it's not only Veterans Weekend. We've got to remember yesterday was the 243rd birthday of the Marine Corps, so happy birthday, Marine Corps. I'm outraged. And I think most French people are outraged. Would he say these words about the nationalism that motivated the French resistance to fight and in many cases die in the face of the Nazi occupation of France? He was standing in front of the Arc de Triomphe. The triumph over what exactly? People don't die for globalization. They don't die for the United Nations. They die for their nation and for their fellow soldier, Marine, airmen. This is an outrage. The idea that you're going to worship something outside your nation. Mr. Macron, look up the word nationalism in a dictionary. It says in English or French, love of nation, devotion to your country. How is that a bad thing?
Absolutely. What breeds the mentality of a European leader? When we look at it, say, we saved you twice, and you're going to preach to us about at a moment like this. What breeds that mentality?
The last 70 years of us defending them. European nations, until Donald Trump arrived, have been unserious about their defense. I'll give you one metric, Pete. The president just increased our defense budget by an increment, just the increase, which is bigger than any NATO budget. Bigger than France, bigger than Germany, bigger than the UK. They haven't been serious because they were the freeloaders since NATO was created in 1949. And it is nations that were the bulwark against totalitarian ideologies like fascism, like communism. And now, why is he the premier of France? Whose values is he protecting? Vanuatu's? It's pathetic, Pete. I'm sorry.
Dr. Gorka, President Macron's comments come on the heels of him saying before President Trump arrived in Paris that France and Europe may need to develop a European army, not only to fight Russia and China, but also to go up against the United States of America. And then today he says these comments. What is your reaction to that?
A European army, I'm quaking in my boots. Seriously? How many nations have put a man on the moon? One. Us. We have 12 nuclear aircraft carriers. Nobody can touch us militarily. I'd be more worried about the other nations of Europe. If I were a Pole, if I were a Brit who was trying to get out of the EU and somebody wants to create a European army, to what purpose? To keep me down? To intimidate me as a European nation? They can't touch us, but is this their way to make sure you better behave and follow the globalizing agenda? Not good.
Well, if they can't even pay their way into NATO, I'm not really sure how they're going to fund a new. But Dr. Gorka,
but they'll have really smart uniforms, Katie.
Oh, they will.
Maybe, yes,
well
very
tailored.
fashionable.
Very well tailored.
Dr. Gorka, thank you so much for your time
Thanks,
today. We
guys.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Doctor. Appreciate it.
Bye.